Good evening, dear students.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, only less number of students. How come? Is there any examination going on in any of the colleges?
Yeah, sir. First preparatory.
Yes, sir.
Which college?
Rajajinagar.
VVS. Okay, Skanda also belongs to Rajajinagar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, most of you are Rajajinagar only.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's fine. So that's the reason. Okay. Is it like this redox reaction is quite basic? Okay. It also helps you in understanding calculation of oxidation numbers and all other things in other chapters. So it's not a kind of deviation or waste amidst of your tight schedule. Which is the subject that you have tomorrow?
English, sir.
English, sir.
Then it is double okay. No problem. Okay. Fine. We'll get back to what we were discussing in oxidation numbers. When you be in second year and look back into the redox reaction chapter, almost everything would have been studied in all other chapters, directly or indirectly, calculation of oxidation numbers. Okay, then electrochemistry, that single electrodes, voltaic cell. Not here, only introduction is there. Much in detail, electrochemical series, everything would have been studied in electrochemistry, much in detail. Okay. So I was discussing under redox reaction how to calculate oxidation numbers, okay, and also how to balance an equation. Okay, by and large, it requires just trial and error method and lot of common sense. Okay, so one thing that you need to remember is quite extent of oxidation and quite extent of reduction should be equal to one another. Otherwise, things will not be correct. Okay, that's all the thing. Rest trial and error. Okay. That too, when it comes to competitive examination, this redox reaction balancing, they would give coefficients as x, y, z, something like that. You should just need to identify. You can go for trial and error method also. Put in option A, check whether it can match, or D or so. So concepts become easy when it comes to this competitive exams. Now remaining what is there, I'll just brief it up so that I can directly get into the discussion of worksheet. I have posted in the group also. Okay. After balancing, you just need to know about this different concepts what we have that you have studied in electrochemistry. As I told you, that is, there is something called competitive electron transfer. When I say competitive electron transfer, you must only tell me now. I'm going to give you one case here. There is a beaker in which we have taken copper sulfate solution. Okay. I'm going to dip a zinc rod into it. Okay. So after some time, this blue color of copper sulfate turns pale blue, then becomes colorless. Can you tell me what could be the reason? What could be the reason?
Copper is deposited on the...
Okay. Why copper is deposited?
So the copper moves away from the solution to the rod.
Okay. It will move to the rod or it will precipitate. Because
it's different, sir. Yeah.
the thing is, it is like, you are swimming in a swimming pool, and your friend is about to fall or dive into the swimming pool, and you are going to hold him for rescue. Okay, that guy also falls and you will be much more sinking. Same thing happens if copper deposits onto zinc. Zinc is dissolving into the solution. So copper precipitates, that's all. Okay, or displaced. No problem. So here I'm going to take silver nitrate solution and dip this time the copper rod. Copper rod into silver nitrate solution. The solution turns, first it was colorless. Colorless, and then it becomes pale blue, then it becomes blue. Okay, so can anybody tell me what is this all about? There is one reason that you need to just give. Both can be explained with one single phenomenon. What is that? When we don't know things, that's why we call competitive electron transfer. For copper sulfate, zinc gives electron, whereas for silver nitrate, copper gives electron. Vice versa is not possible. Silver will not give electron to copper. Okay, when you go to a hotel with your elder brother will give. When you go with your younger brother, you will give to younger brother. Don't say that, no, sir, I'll never give any time. Okay. What is the reason? One word to match with the answer. You have to explain. Just give me one word.
SRP of
SRP, that's all. Exactly. So even Amshu said SRP. Right. It's all about SRP value, standard reduction potential values. So now between zinc and copper, which one has low SRP?
zinc has lower SRP.
Low SRP. Copper has high SRP. Between copper and silver, which has low SRP?
Copper.
Copper. Okay. So the one which has low standard reduction potential, SRP, will always undergo oxidation. So zinc undergoes oxidation means it loses its electron. And copper in the solution is +2, and Cu2 plus takes the electron and become copper, gets precipitated. When Cu2 plus in the solution remain, it appears blue. When slowly concentration decreases due to the deposition or precipitation, becomes pale blue. If once all Cu2 plus ion precipitate, it becomes colorless, because the blue color is because of Cu2 plus ion. Likewise here, this has low SRP, and obviously silver has high SRP. Okay, therefore copper loses its electron to silver, and silver gains electron and gets precipitated. This is the thing. Is it okay? So this is what in the beginning, when people were not knowing much reasons about it, they called it as a competitive electron transfer. Okay, and indirect oxidation reduction also. Okay, so later electrochemical series has been introduced. Okay, electrochemical series. When I say that, it is also called activity series. Okay, what is electrochemical series? It's the list of different single electrodes. List of different single electrodes arranged in the what? Increasing order of their SRP values. Is electrochemistry complete in your college?
Doing, sir.
Pardon me?
Sir, it is going on, sir. The chapter.
Skanda is very tired. Is it so?
Sir, yes, sir. Preparatory now, sir.
ಓಕೆ, ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಪಾಪ, you don't have time at all. Okay. List of different single electrodes arranged in the increasing order of their SRP values. See, single electrode andre eno? It's a device where a metal rod is in contact with the solution of its own ions, right? So a device where a metal rod is in contact with the solution of its own ions, that is called single electrode. If I take zinc, you have to take in the solution zinc sulfate solution. So that zinc rod will be in contact with Zn2+, its own ions. Like that, when you take copper rod dipped into copper sulfate solution, it becomes what? Copper single electrode. What is the speciality about these single electrodes? Whenever a metal rod is in contact with the solution of its own ions, there develops potential. Charge will be developed. Charge banbidutte suddenly. What charge will be developed in zinc? Negative. Copper? Positive. How come? See, the simple reason is, whenever a metal rod is in contact with the solution of its own ions, oxidation and reduction tendency will be seen. Oxidation of zinc atoms of the rod into zinc ions into the solution. At the same time, zinc ions in the solution will have a tendency to deposit onto the rod by gaining electron. But depending on the nature of the metal rod, either oxidation will be more or reduction will be more. Any one will be predominating. In case of zinc, oxidation tendency is more than reduction tendency. Like in case of copper, reduction tendency is more than the oxidation. So zinc atoms get into the solution as Zn2+, where they lose their electrons into the rod becomes negative. Okay. Here Cu2+ deposit more onto the rod becomes positive. That's as. Okay. So thus potential is developed. The potential developed in a single electrode is called single electrode potential. The symbol for single electrode potential is E. Okay, the potential developed when a metal rod is in contact with the solution of its own ions is called single electrode. Similarly, there is one more term, that is standard electrode potential. What is standard electrode potential? Symbol for this is E0, please. E0. So it is the potential developed when a metal rod is in contact with 1 molar solution of its own ions. If it is a gas, instead of a metal, if you take a non-metal or a gas, then the pressure of the gas should be 1 bar. Under these two conditions, whatever electrode potential developed, that is called standard electrode potential. That's all. Okay. Temperature is not here, only molar concentration and a bar pressure. Okay. So now at an electrode, there may be reduction happening, there may be oxidation happening. The potential developed during oxidation is called oxidation potential. So at zinc single electrode, what potential is developed? Oxidation potential. How do we represent this oxidation potential? E for electrode potential. Oxidation means zinc atom becoming zinc ion. See, the symbol itself, Zn bar, Zn2+, indicate oxidation. And it is found to be experimentally for zinc electrode, the oxidation potential is plus 0.76 volt. Okay. Whereas in case of copper, reduction is happening. So the potential developed is called reduction potential. How do we represent symbolically? ECU2+ bar Cu giving rise to, it is found experimentally plus 0.34 volt. Okay. So you can see the symbol atom to cation is loss of electron, oxidation. Oxidation potential is 0.76. Ion, cation to atom is reduction. Reduction potential is 0.34. But the thing is, by convention, always electrode potential of any single electrode must be expressed only in terms of reduction potentials. Okay, so since electrode potentials are expressed by considering reduction. So here it is oxidation potential, right? Oxidation potential. Whereas here it is reduction potential for copper. So if you want to use these values for calculation later for anything, but you should take both the electrodes in terms of reduction potential. That is by convention. So therefore, the reduction potential of zinc, you have to reverse this now. Okay, so it becomes cation to atom means it is reduction. So you would change this symbol, and sign should be changed. Plus should be changed to minus 7.77. If minus were there, it would have been plus now. So reduction potential of zinc single electrode is minus 0.76 volt. Now copper need not have to be changed. It is already reduction potential. Just know about it. That's all. Okay. Yes. Now what is one speciality about these single electrode? They develop potential. Now the idea is if you can join these two single electrodes by means of a wire externally, okay, and two solutions if you can also connect by means of a device called as salt bridge. Like this. This is salt bridge. Okay. Externally you need to connect by a wire. Then electric current flows. To check electric current or potential difference, you can use any voltmeter or ammeter like that. So potential difference will be. So what is this salt bridge? Salt bridge is a device which connects the two electrolyte solution, means salt solution, and thereby completes the circuit. And also this salt bridge maintains electrical neutrality in the solution, thereby helping continuous generation of electric current. Okay, so salt bridge basically, what is it made of composition wise? It's a gel medium of a substance called agar-agar containing. So this is the symbol with salts like KCl or KNO3. Only these salts should be used. The salt that should be used in salt bridge must have equal ionic mobility in opposite direction. See, the total charge carried by a particular ion is called transport number. The transport number of cation and anion should be same. In other words, we say that. Or the ionic mobility should be equal and opposite. Such salts only will be used here, not every salt. So this is what the device obtained by clubbing two single electrodes. Each single electrode is called an half cell. This is a half cell. And the left hand side is also a half cell. Half cell plus half cell is simply cell, not full cell. Simply cell, that's all. Now this cell which is obtained by combining two single electrodes is called a voltaic cell. Correct? A voltaic cell or galvanic cell. Voltaic or galvanic cell. Okay. So what are these voltaic or galvanic cells? They're also called electrochemical cells. They are also called electrochemical cells. So what are these devices? These devices are those where chemical energy converts to chemical energy of oxidation and reduction reaction. Reduction reaction converts to electric current, electrical energy. The chemical energy of oxidation, reduction, reaction converts to electrical energy. Such devices are called voltaic cell or galvanic cell, in general electrochemical cell. Now these voltaic cell can be constructed by combining any two single electrodes, either zinc or copper, or magnesium and potassium, or gold and platinum, or silver with iron, whatever. Now whenever you construct a voltaic cell, particularly using zinc and copper single electrode, then it is called a Daniell cell. So Daniell cell is a voltaic cell, is an example of voltaic cell. Okay, so it's a voltaic cell made of zinc and copper single electrodes. Just know about it. That's it. Okay. So we know that cell representation, all those things, actually we do again this in the electrochemistry. Okay. I'll just mention if you can recall. Okay. First anode is written, put a vertical line. Okay. That vertical line indicates the physical state difference, phase difference. Zinc is solid, zinc sulfate is in solution, liquid state. And this is representing zinc single electrode. Two vertical line represents salt bridge. Next we need to write copper single electrode, but metal should come at the extreme end. That is one rule actually. Like this only you have to write. You write the formula so that metals are kept at the extreme ends. Single vertical line indicating physical state difference or phase difference. Two vertical lines indicating salt bridge. You should write molarity under salt. It may be 0.5 molar, 1 molar, whatever. And this is solid. If it were to be gas, you have to mention pressure. So this is about how Daniell cell is represented. Always anode is written first, right? This is called left-hand electrode. Cathode is then written. Therefore, it is called right-hand electrode. Okay. Then comes, how do we calculate E cell? So calculation of EMF or voltage. The E cell is equal to E of cathode minus E of anode. So E cell means cell potential, EMF. E cat means it is single electrode potential of cathode, which is reduction potential. E anode means it is reduction potential of anode. For Daniell cell, which is anode, which is cathode, you should always remember anodic oxidation, cathodic reduction. Anodic oxidation, cathodic reduction means the electrode where oxidation takes place is anode, anodic oxidation. The electrode where reduction takes place is cathode, cathodic reduction. So here in Daniell cell, oxidation happens at zinc electrode, so it is anode. Reduction happens at copper electrode, so it is cathode. But the thing is, in the conventional electrodes, anode is the one which attracts anion, it should be positive. But here anode is negative. You should be careful. Because this is not prepared. This charge, negative, positive, is not obtained by connecting battery terminal. This itself is a battery actually. So the basis upon which you are going to decide anode and cathode is the reaction. Anodic oxidation, cathodic reduction. The signs will be different. Conventional or regular electrodes is anode means positive, cathode is negative. Here reverse. Okay. So coming back to this now. Fine, this is for Daniell cell. How do we calculate? E of cathode means it is of copper. Copper electrode. E of anode is it is of zinc. So copper, I told you reduction potential 0.34 minus of minus 0.76 volt. If you calculate it becomes 1.1 volt. Okay. So this is about single electrode calculation, representation, all those things. Then we'll brief up about electrochemical series. Okay. And now the part of electrochemical series have to be written to understand the characteristics of electrochemical series or applications. The series, activity series, starts with lithium actually. Next, potassium. Lithium, potassium, barium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, tin. Then comes this. Which is this? What is this? It is hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode, She. Okay. Then comes Cu2 plus. Then comes silver. I'm writing only few elements. There are many elements in between. You have to remember everything. And the series ends with fluorine. Okay. When you write fluorine, half F2 bar F minus. See, in every case, ion bar atom we have written, right? For fluorine, we have written the atom bar ion. Why so? Anybody? Why didn't we write F minus bar F? Huh? Any reason for that?
Sir, it's a strong oxidizing agent.
So what? Why should I write in that way? Hmm? Anyhow, whether it is an oxidizing agent or reducing agent, we have written for everything ion bar atom. Correct? No? For this also we should write like that only. Every symbol that we have written is representing a reduction potential. So cation to atom is gain of electron, reduction potential it represents. Similarly, for anion formation, it is atom to anion is reduction potential, correct? No? So all are reduction potentials only. Whatever we have written is a list of different single electrodes obtained by arranging different elements in the increasing order of the SRP. So it is SRP, reduction potential we have to represent. So atom bar ion is negative ion is correct. Whereas when it comes to cation, cation gains electron becomes atom reduction. Anion, atom gains electron becomes negative. So fluorine always becomes from atom to negative ion. So when you say that, you know, this list lithium to fluorine, actually in between many elements are there, but whatever is written, it is in the increasing order of SRP. Lithium, the series starts with lithium, ends with fluorine. Okay. So down. Correct? SRP values increase down the series. Now, the reference point to divide this series into two halves is hydrogen electrode. It is assumed to be 0 volt. SRP value, standard reduction potential, is almost feeble, negligible. So it is assumed to be 0. So since elements are arranged in the increasing order, all the elements which are above standard hydrogen electrode would have negative SRP, then 0. All those below will have positive SRP. So by and large, this series will be divided as above and below with respect to hydrogen. Okay, fine. If you look at the characteristics, first one, elements at the top are good. What? Anybody? Are good reducing agents. One thing you remember directly, or you imagine any of these elements in the beginning, you know, you can see that they're all highly reactive, and all these elements, barium, calcium, sodium, lithium, They're all highly metallic. They are electropositive. So they are ready to donate electron. The one which donates electron undergoes oxidation. The one which undergoes oxidation is a reducing agent. So elements at the top means with negative SR are good reducing agents. Elements at the bottom, okay, are not ready to lose so much like S block elements, right? Elements at bottom are that too when you go to the other end of the series, it goes to halogens and all. They are highly good oxidizing agent. So good oxidizing agents. Okay, so this is positive SRP, and this is true between any two elements, successive elements also. So at the top reducing agent, at the bottom oxidizing agent, or between any two elements. Like for example, you take magnesium and aluminum. Magnesium is above reducing agent. This is below oxidizing agent. Okay. Reducing agent means it gives electron. Oxidizing agent means it accepts electron. And it is always true in the electrochemical series that I would always say my students about this. Upar wala deta hai, niche wala leta hai. Okay. So that's what we say in our regular conversations. So our efforts may be there, but upar wala has to give. God has to give. So something like that. Upar wala always, any upar wala would always give. Niche wala would always take. Magnesium now, between aluminum magnesium, magnesium upar wala deta hai, aluminum leta hai. Between aluminum zinc, aluminum deta hai, zinc leta hai. Like that. Okay. So dene wala reducing agent, lene wala oxidizing agent. That's all. Okay. God gives, he reduces our hungry. So something like that. Let's say. Okay. No problem. Something like that. Okay. Now this upar wala deta hai, niche wala leta hai will be seen in a very point or characteristic that we see. Okay. Now we had seen one competitive electron transfer. You take here copper sulfate solution and dip zinc rod into it. And what would happen when you dip a zinc rod into the copper sulfate solution? There will be precipitation of copper. Okay, copper. Why so? Copper in the solution is there as Cu2 plus. Okay, the moment when you dip zinc, zinc is upar wala, copper is niche wala, upar wala deta hai. Zinc will give electron become zinc ion. Those electrons will be taken by Cu2 plus in the solution and gets deposited, displaced, precipitated, whatever. This is what it happens. Now, when you dip copper rod into silver, what would happen? Copper is upar wala, silver is niche wala. Copper deta hai, silver. Or when you dip, say, to copper sulfate solution, the silver rod, what would happen? What would happen? Niche wala nahi deta hai, upar wala deta hai. Okay, silver is niche wala. It simply, you dip, it will be just quiet. That's all. Nothing will do. Nothing happens. If silver is dipped into copper sulfate, no reaction. Okay. When copper rod is dipped into the silver, then precipitation takes place. Okay. So something like that. Let me write that so that this analogy gets completed. This is AgNO3. So this is below in the series, silver, or high SRP you can say. And this is copper. Now precipitation takes place. Okay, Cu plus 2Ag plus Cu2 plus 2Ag. Ag gets precipitated. So what displaces what, you know? Upar wala can displace the niche wala from its salt solution. Same thing, we'll make a statement for that. Okay, metal above displaces metal below. Where? From where? From its salt solution. correct, from its salt solution. Okay. The same concept here, upar wala niche wala hold good, right? The same concept will be extended to next point. Now let's say we have taken some acid here, dilute HNO3 or HCl. Okay, so dilute. No doubt there is H plus and NO3 minus ions. I want to liberate hydrogen from dilute acids. If you want to liberate hydrogen from dilute acids, H2 gas, what I have to do? Give electron. Give electron to hydrogen, then it liberates out. Who will give electron? Upar wala. Upar wala with respect to hydrogen electrode. So any element which is above hydrogen electrode will have low SRP, negative SRP, can give electron, act as a reducing agent. Okay, so you can dip any electron, low SRP metal or non-metal, no problem. This is above in this series, above standard hydrogen can displace. Now people out them. I'm going to dip copper rod into HNO3, dilute. Hydrogen liberates or not? Correct? All of you are having food, huh? I'm going to dip.
Repeat the question, sir.
Pardon me? I'm going to dip copper rod into dilute HNO3. Will it liberate?
No.
No.
Sir.
I'm going to dip iron into dilute HCl. Will it liberate? Iron is above, so it can liberate. I'm going to dip magnesium into HCl. Will it liberate?
No, sir.
Yes. See, you do one thing. At least if not the individual metals, you remember. See, series starts with S block. Then you can see already D block in between. Hydrogen is at the middle, no problem. D block, even after standard hydrogen electrode and before, there is D block. Then again, it ends with F block, P block, reactive species. So reactivity also is like that. The series starts with highly reactive elements, become moderately reactive in the middle, at the end again become highly reactive. Okay, so that's how it starts with S block, ends with P block, reactive to reactive, in between moderately reactive. That is D block. Okay, so what I can make a statement for point number 3 is metals or non-metals above SHE liberate H2 from dilute acids. Metals below SHE doesn't liberate. Metals below SHE doesn't liberate H2 from dilute acids. So this is one. And next, you can at least my job in electrochemistry should be easy. And doing everything. 4. You can construct a voltaic cell of required EMF, voltage otherwise, required EMF, by coupling any 2 single electrodes. Single electrodes of known electrode potential or reduction potential. Okay, like if you want 1.1 volt, you can look at the electrode and their values, couple zinc and copper, it becomes 1.1 volt. Okay, by and large lithium is around 3.09 or 5 like that, and fluorine is also around plus 3. Lithium is starting from -3 and the series ends with around plus 3. Around, when I say it is around plus 2.9 volts fluorine. Lithium is around minus 3 point something. Reduction potentials, I'm telling you. In between, these values vary. Okay. Now, when you couple two single electrodes to form a voltaic cell, which acts as anode, which acts as cathode is important. Okay. So, electrode with low SRP means above, will act as anode. The electrode with high SRP means below, act as cathode. Why it is so? Because ऊपर वाला देता है, low SRP above, ऊपर वाला देता है. That means it gives electron undergoes oxidation, anodic oxidation. Correct? No? Electrode where oxidation takes place is anode. नीचे वाला लेता है, means it gains electron, undergoes reduction, cathodic reduction. Like, okay. Also, the data can be given in different ways. You know, let's say there are two elements X and Y. I'll give different data. Under that data, you have to tell me whether X is anode or Y is anode or cathode. Okay, you just need to decide. Potentials I'll give. Okay, reduction potentials. This is which one? X is found to be minus 2.15 volt, and this is minus 2.93 volt. Which is anode? Which is cathode?
Y is anode.
This is 2 point. More negative means lower value. This is above. Low value is anode, and this is higher value when compared to one another. This is cathode. Okay. Next is plus 1.65 volt, and this is plus 2.123 volt. Which is cathode?
Y is cathode.
Okay. I'm sure is sole performance. Solo, not sole, solo performance in the chat box. Okay. So Y is what, Nikita?
Cathode.
So cathode, this is plus 1.65 is low because ISR. Okay. I would say this is liberate hydrogen from acids. No liberation. Which is anode, which is cathode. If Y is dipped into HCl, doesn't liberate hydrogen. X liberates. So Amshu says X anode, Y cathode. Okay. So that's correct because ऊपर वाला देता है. That means elements above SHE can liberate hydrogen. So therefore, this is above means anode. You wrote A and C only. What is this? X is there now. What is the need to represent again A and C and all nonsense? Oh, that is for previous one. Oh, sorry. Okay. Same color. No, it got confused. Yes. So this is for next one, right? This is anode. This is cathode. Let me draw the line. Okay. I would say one more data. You have to tell me. Okay. Liberate hydrogen. Liberate hydrogen vigorously. Look at that. X liberate hydrogen. Y also liberate hydrogen, but more vigorously.
Why is anode?
Because more vigorously, see for example in the electrochemical series, hydrogen is there here. If you dip zinc, slowly hydrogen liberates. Below zinc there is iron. If you dip, I have not written, iron if you dip much more slowly, tin much more slowly, copper doesn't, or go upward. Compared to zinc, if you dip aluminum, faster, magnesium much more faster, faster. Potassium and lithium, it may even catch fire, so much vigorous. So when you say liberate vigorously, it is going above, means low SRP. Low SRP is anode. So data can be given differently to decide anode and cathode, thereby calculation of E cell, all those things. Okay, especially in electrochemistry, it is much useful. No problem. And also from the knowledge of SRP values of different single electrodes, you will find out which metal ion will be preferentially oxidized or reduced in a mixture of ion. That also products of electrolysis you have studied in electrochemistry. At least students who were there in our batch have studied that. Okay, so this is fifth one. Let's say there is a mixture of ions. Okay, say sodium, say aluminum, zinc, say copper, so silver. These many mixture of ions are there. I want to pass electric current. Okay, which metal ion gets reduced first? Can anybody tell me? Which metal ion gets reduced first in this mixture? Na plus, Al plus, L3 plus. Any idea? Whichever is easy to take electron, which will be readily taking the electron. नीचे वाला लेता है, right? नीचे वाला लेता है. Which is who is बहुत नीचे वाला?
Silver.
Silver readily accepts it. So in a mixture of ions, you can preferentially reduce a particular ion by the knowledge of SRP values. Okay. So this is number one. So the one which first gets reduced is silver. After silver, which will be the next that will be reduced? Copper. After silver completely plus, but next copper, because it's just above. Among the three, which is the one that easily gets reduced? Zinc. Then aluminum is above. So sodium is much more above. So last sodium is there. If hydrogen is there, after copper, hydrogen gets deposited or liberate. Correct? So these kind of things. Right? Correct. So in a mixture of ions, an ion with higher SRP gets reduced preferentially. Okay. So these things, then there is little thing about titration. All about titration. There is burette liquid. Okay, the titrant and the solution taken in the confluence aliquot. To indicate endpoint, we use the substance called indicator. There is acid-base indicator like phenolphthalein. There is redox indicator like diphenylamine. Sometimes one of the liquid will be colored. In such cases, that liquid itself acts as self-indicator like KMnO4. Whenever you use KMnO4 at the end point, appearance of pink color or disappearance of pink color will happen. That kind of titrations will be there. Okay. So fine, and also equivalent mass, all those things, which we would have learned, and also there I'll explain when we take up the examples. So with this, we'll get into the questions. Okay, MCQs. it's been given to you posted in the WhatsApp group also. If you can't simultaneously open that, okay, you can pay attention. Later you can. Anyhow, you need to mark or write the answer in your notes. Okay, so that when you check, you'll be able to understand. Fine. Question number 1. Fluorine is a strong oxidizing agent because. What is the most appropriate answer? Surely not because of several isotopes, right?
Option C.
Its valency is 1 is correct answer, but the correct reason is option B. Its valency is 1 because option B is the reason for that also. Correct? No? It is correct, but most appropriate is option B. Sometimes more than one matching answer. In such cases, most appropriate is what we need to say. So its valency is 1 correct. That too, why it is so? Because it has 7 electrons. That's why it's valency. So it's very small. Always take electron. A small atom will have high effective nuclear charge. So high effective nuclear charge means it will have great thirst for electrons. Okay, great thirst for electron. It will be quenched only when electron is absorbed. So that's it. So option B is most important. Okay. Shall I proceed now? And also 7
Yes.
electron means it will require 1 more electron to complete the octet. That factor also increases the urge for requiring or acquiring 1 more electron. Right? Next. Oxidation is a process which involves
Option A.
loss of electron. No, there is no loss of
De-electronation.
electron. So exactly, it is de-electronation. Electronation, addition of electron. De-electronation, removal. Fine. Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Third, decomposition of KClO3 to KCl and O2 on heating is an example. Okay.
Option B.
Let me write this reaction.
Option C, sir.
KClO is potassium chloride. Option
Option C.
disproportionation of auto redox reaction. Auto redox change.
Option B.
Plus 3. Here, disproportionation slightly different. Since you gave the answer, I was just checking what to give explanation for you to understand why it is not disproportionate. Okay, it sounds as if it is a disproportionation. Okay, now you see here what is happening. This is +5 if you calculate oxidation state, because 3 oxygen is -6, 1 potassium is +1. So to balance overall negative charge, it has to be +5. So minus. So chlorine exists only in 2 oxidation states. If it is a disproportionation, 1 element exists in 3 oxidation states. Before the reaction, 1, and after the reaction, 2. It's not disproportionate. So it's option B. Intramolecular redox change. Between the similar molecules of KClO3, oxidation and reduction is happening. So it is intra. Between one and another different molecule, if a redox reaction takes place, it is intermolecular redox. So it is intra. It is not disproportionation for the reason that in a disproportionation reaction, simultaneous oxidation and reduction of a particular atom of an element takes place to form products. So Cl should be there in both the products. Then only it is called disproportion. I think you have understood what is the reason.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want, I can give you one more example. So I just say here, Cl or oxygen. So it's not a disproportionation reaction. So not disproportionation. We'll take one more. You see here, this is hydrogen peroxide, world famous disproportionation reaction. Am I right? Now here hydrogen left hand side +1, right hand side +1. It is not the hydrogen that is undergoing change. Peroxides will always be having oxygen -1, right? To the right hand side in water, oxygen is 2-, this is 0. You can see simultaneous oxidation and reduction. Gain of electron, reduction. -1 to 0, loss of electron, oxidation. The element which undergoes disproportionation will have 3 oxidation state in the overall reaction. -1, -2, 0. So oxygen undergoes oxidation and reduction. Therefore, it's a disproportionation. Reaction, and this is intramolecular. Redox reaction. So there is a slight difference. Come on, shall I proceed now? Is that complete?
Yes, sir.
So we'll take a fourth one now. Conversion of lead sulfate to lead sulfide. Sulfate to sulfide is what?
Option A.
To which oxidation? To which oxidation step?
+6 to -2.
+6 or +4? +6 or?
+6.
PbSO4 to Pb. Yes. You just say minus this. Okay, no problem. +2, -8. So it should be +6. 2-. So it is gain of how many electron?
8.
Reduction. Okay, shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can I explain that fourth question again, sir?
Fourth, if you see the oxidation state of sulfur in PbSO4, how much is Pb? Pb is always +2 always. Okay, or you can take SO4 is always -2. Correct. If SO4 is -2, Pb should be +2 to balance that. Overall positive should be equal to negative. That's all the concept. Now Pb is 2+. And 4 oxygen, each oxygen is -2 into 4, -8. Now to balance total negative charge, -8. Pb is +2. How many more positive charge should be there on sulfur? +6. So +6 +2, totally +8 becomes equal to -8. Is balanced. So that's how exactly we calculate oxidation state of sulfur. Now in PbS again.
Okay, sir, got it.
So this is +2. Because Pb is +2, sulfur should be -2. So +6 to -2, it is gain of 8 electrons. Reduction. Yes, which is not a redox reaction. Means, how do you easily find which is not a redox reaction? Oxidation numbers of reactants and products should be same. Should not either decrease or increase of any element. If one element has a decrease in oxidation number, there should be another element where oxidation number is increasing because it is complementary. Which is the answer?
So what is option D?
The D is not a reaction at all.
Okay, then don't consider as an option. Leave it. See if it can be, there is a printing error, just leave it.
Sir, all the others are redox.
Okay. What is the oxidation state of oxygen in reactants of BaO2?
It's -1.
On the right hand side,
Yeah, -1.
-1, no?
Yes, sir.
Is that is the answer?
Yes, sir.
Let us identify oxidation states of all the elements. Barium second group plus 2 always. If it is plus 2, oxygen, 2 oxygen, it would be 2 minus. So each oxygen is -1. Hydrogen is +1. Each hydrogen is +1. Sulfate overall is 2 minus. Sulfate is 2 minus. Sulfate, overall I have taken. On the right hand side, barium +2. Hydrogen +1. Oxygen -1. Because it's this 2 hydrogen is +2. 2 oxygen is -2. So each oxygen is -1. So left hand side, right hand side, oxidation numbers are same. So therefore, no change in oxidation numbers. Not a redox. Not a redox reaction. Shall I proceed now?
Yes, sir.
It is found that vanadium, V is vanadium there, forms a double salt isomorphous with more salt. The oxidation number of vanadium is isomorphous, means it is same as that of more salt. Okay. For that, what is Mohr salt? We should know. Then only you can give the answer, right? Mohr salt is nothing but FeS, ferrous ammonium sulfate, means ferrous sulfate, ammonium sulfate, and 6H2. This is Mohr salt. If vanadium forms isomorphous like this, so if vanadium forms isomorphous salt, then how should it be? Which would be replaced by vanadium? It's a D block, right? VSO4. Rest everything is missing. Now the question is the oxidation number. Correct. What is the oxidation number of vanadium in this isomorphous compound? It's so much difficult. Huh? Sulfate is what? 2 minus. So it should be 2 plus. That's all. No. It will replace iron and forms a salt, double salt. This is called double salt. You know what is double salt? A double salt is one which contains 2 simple salts. Shall I proceed now?
Yes, sir.
Seventh, stronger the oxidizing agent, higher is,
Standard reduction potential.
that's all, because Nietzsche wala. So standard reduction potential of the species. Option. Okay. Next, eighth. In which reaction the underlying substance has been reduced? In which reaction the underlying
Sir,
substance?
steam.
Huh?
Steam.
Okay. So steam has been converted to hydrogen. How do you say it is reduced?
+1 to 0.
Steam is nothing but water. In presence of iron, actually, they have given so, right? So I would just try this. It becomes hydrogen. Okay. Of course, then iron becomes Fe3O4, magnetic oxide. That's not required here for us. So this is what is happening here. Removal of hydrogen. Removal of oxygen from water. Okay. Removal of oxygen from water, either you say like that, or +1 to 0, no confusion. +1 to 0 is gain of electron reduction. So that's all. Ninth will be.
Option A, sir.
Option A.
When iron metal is rusted, rusting of iron, again electrochemistry. Okay. Iron undergoes oxidation and acts as anode, where tiny voltaic cells will be set up with impurities and moisture as the electrolyte. So there, iron undergoes oxidation and triggers the entire rusting process. If iron were to not undergo oxidation, if it were to not lose electron, Fe remains as Fe atom, not Fe ion. Since Fe ion forms, then hydrated ferric oxide, which is nothing but rust, will be. So the triggering reaction is that. Fe becomes Fe2. Then it combines with moisture, becomes ferrocyanide. Then again water and dissolved oxygen, ferric hydroxide. Then it undergoes change, Fe2O3, XH2, either 2 or 3. Rust. No problem. This is loss of electron, ox. Shall we proceed now?
Yes, sir.
In the reaction given here, which element is reduced?
Chromium.
That's all. Cr2O7, 2 minus. Cr. To calculate oxidation state of chromium, how much would it be? +6. Not you can calculate 2x. 2 chromium is 2x. -2 into 7 is -14, is equal to charge on the ion -2. So 2x is equal to +12. So x is equal to +6. So when it becomes +6 to +3, gain of 3 electron, reduction. So it is chromium. Then which is oxidized?
Iodine.
Exactly. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Next week. In the preparation of chlorine from HCl, MnO2 acts as
Catalytic agent.
oxidizing.
Oxidizing.
Well, is a catalyst. What actually does? It acts as an oxidizer. So this is actually decon process in P block. This is the reaction. Of course, without writing this reaction also, you can guess it now. If HCl has to become Cl2 in presence of MnO2, hydrogen must be removed as water. It has to oxidize. Or HCl has to become Cl2. This -1 has to become 0, loss of electron, oxidation. So MnO2 should be oxidizing. One in presence of which, a substance in presence of which oxidation takes place, it's an oxidizing agent. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What would happen when a small quantity of H2O2 is added to a solution of ferrous sulfate? H2O2 can act as what? Oxidizing agent, because it readily liberates oxygen. Okay. So now in presence of this oxidizing agent, ferrous sulfate, what would be the expected reaction? What would be the expected reaction? Ferrous sulfate in presence of hydrogen peroxide undergoes oxidation to form, which is the oxidized salt of ferrous sulfate. Alva. So this is 3 plus. This is 3 plus. What is the correct answer? Correct. What is the correct answer?
Option D.
Electron is lost. Right. Next. In the reaction given here, which statement is correct?
Option D.
Option D.
Oh, that's correct. Now, can it be called as disproportionation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Skanda ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾನಿಯಾ?
Yes, sir. Current ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್.
ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಟ್ಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ಯಾನಿಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಯಾಕೋ ವಾಯ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿದೆ.
ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇ.
ಏನಪ್ಪಾ?
ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್.
ಬಟ್ ನಾನ್ ಈ ಪಾಠ ಅಂತೂ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ತು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕತ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀನು.
ಹಂಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
Okay. So if you look at this, 0, ಇದು -1, ಇದು +5, bromate. So addition of electron, reduction. Each atom would lose 5 electrons from 0 to +1, oxidation. So bromine is oxidized and reduced or undergoes disproportionation. Okay, shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
14. Which reaction does not involve change in oxidation state in all its components?
Option C.
Okay, huh? Pardon me?
Third option.
Exactly. What is the oxidation state?
+6.
+6.
So CrO4 2. What is the name of CrO4 2 minus?
Chromate.
Cr2O7 2 minus dichromate. You know. The
Dichromate.
color of chromate?
Green.
Green. Huh? Dichromate?
Red, sir.
Orange. Yellow. They both can be interchanged, right? Actually, it is like this. Let me give that information. Simply giving some extra information, though it is not relevant here. Since we have discussed, we are discussing this. Just trigger that. Chromate to dichromate is acid medium. Dichromate to chromate is basic medium. Okay, like this, and they are found at equilibrium to one another at around pH of 4. So you have to make more acidic medium beyond 4. Then it becomes dichromate. The change in color also it represents easy. Okay. Fine. We shall take up 15th now.
Sir, +2.
The most stable oxidation state of copper is this. That's all. Actually, Cu+1 has 3D10. Cu2+ cupric has 3D9. So this is full. It should be more stable. 3D10. Correct? No? Stable. 3D9 should be partial. It should be less stable. But +2 itself is more stable. What is the reason? One important thing is that
Sir, reduction potential is higher for +1, I think, sir.
rather than that, it is high hydration energy which stabilizes. So that means Cu2+ is not stable because of 3D9. Because of 3D9, it would be less stable rather. The factor which stabilizes Cu2+, then it is destabilized by this 3D9 is high hydration energy. High hydration energy will be there for all those ions which are very small. Cu2+ is much smaller ion when compared to Cu+. That is one thing. Secondly, Cu itself is small in 3D series when compared to all other elements. Because as we move from left to right, atomic size decreases till Cu. From Cu to zinc, it slightly increased due to completely filled shells. So, high hydration energy is due to small size. Okay. So, high hydration energy stabilizes Cu2+. So, option A is correct. 16. Which change requires a reducing agent?
Option C.
Requires a reducing agent. Oxidation requires an oxidizing agent. That's that simple.
Option C, sir.
Correct. Then how about this option D?
Sir, it is same only, sir, with negative charge. So aluminum is still in +3 only.
Fantastic. Good. So Al is +3. Here Al is +. This is -1. This is 0. Loss of electron. Loss of electron is oxidation. They're asking reducing agent. This is +5. BrO minus means it should be -2 +1.
That's
This is correct answer. because from +5 to +1, gain of 4 electron reduction. Okay, this is +6 to +6.
The reducing agent, it reduces, sir.
Reducing agent reduces. That's all.
Okay.
An oxidizing agent oxidizes. A lecturer teaches. A student listens. That's all. What the name will be, the name of a person will be that what he does. Reducing agent reduces. That's all. You want?
I understood. But reducing agent, I got confused that it will reduce itself and oxidize others.
ಅದೇ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು. ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಪ್ಲೆಂಟಿ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಬಿಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿನೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಾಂಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಎ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ,
Understood.
17. ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾ ಟೈಮು?
0.
Exactly. What complex is that, Nikita?
Nickel carbonyl.
Nickel complex. It's a neutral complex. Nickel complex, that's fine. Okay. NiCO 4 times is a neutral complex. There is cationic complex, anionic complex, and neutral complex. Complex ion. Complex ion, if it is positive, positive. Cationic, negative, negative. There is no charge, neutral complex. And all neutral complex need not have to have 0 oxidation state of metal. Here it is 0 because CO is neutral and nickel is also 0. That's all they do. Shall we proceed now?
Yes, sir.
Carbon reacts with oxygen to form 2 oxides, CO and CO2. This is because silly, but still answer has to be formed, right? Is it because carbon has 2 crystalline forms? ನೋಡಿಯಾ, ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ, carbon has 2 oxides. Let's tell. Carbon not only has 2 oxidation, it can go from -4 to +4, including 0. So option B is most appropriate. 19. We'll complete 2 more. In the reaction given here, H2SO4 acts as, ಅದೇ ಈಗ ಅದರ ಹೆಸರೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ. H2SO4 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಗತಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. H2SO4 ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ನ?
Oxidize.
So it is doing oxidation. H2SO4 is oxidizing Ag0 to Ag+. So what is the name of the person who oxidizes? Oxidizing agent. Correct, no? Or H2SO4 sulfur is +6 and it has become +4. That means what? +6 to +4 means it has undergone reduction. The one which undergoes reduction is a oxidizing. That's another way of deciding. Gain of 2 electrons. Reduction. Therefore, oxidizing agent. Anything you can. ಪಕ್ಕದವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಗತಿ ಆಗಿರ ನೋಡಿ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್. ಅವ್ರ ಕತೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, ಅವರು ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. Okay. 20th, in this reaction, the oxidation state of sulfur. ಇದು ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಯು ದಿಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್, ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ 20th ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್. So hope all of you have understood these concepts. Anything else? Any concerns? Any questions? Any Ilva? Right. We'll meet for the next class. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.